Welcome to Watchat, where we chat about watches and other facts of life. To be honest, I'm a little disappointed. Tudor has recently launched their new breguet Pro, which pays homage to the 1655 Rolex Explorer 2. Nothing wrong with that, unless you are someone who is expecting Tudor to be more creative and original. Well, let's first get down to its rudimentary. The M794700001 is a stainless steel watch that has a brush finishing on its front and polish finishing on the bevel and side of the case. The new crown design is engraved with the Tudor rose. More about the crown later. The bezel is a fixed bezel that isn't too wide, which I like. It is brush polished with 24 hours markers engraved on it. There are no holes on the lugs, giving it a clean look. The lug width is 20mm. You have the option of pairing this watch with a steel bracelet with rivets, which has the Tudor's latest Clasp design, or have it in a brown fabric strap. This has a hybrid strap in rubber and leather with beige stitching and a folding clasp. Of course, it has a closed case back. The MT5652 caliber has a GMT function, a date function, and a 70 hours of power reserve. It also has an hour hand quick set date function when you pull the crown out at position 1. At position 2, it hacks the second hand and adjusts the date using the minute hand. The date changes with a quick snap at 12 AM. Impressive. The new crown design has a sharper notch, making it easier to grip and turn the crown. You will notice there are no crown guards on this watch, albeit it is a breguet Pro. Pro as in professional. Underneath the dome-shaped sapphire crystal is a matte black dial. The GMT hand and the words 200 meters 600 feet are in a yellow-orangey color. I figured why they aren't entirely orange like the Rolex 1655 is because Tudor is trying to give the breguet Pro a more vintage look. This is apparent in Tudor's use of off-white, snowflake hands, markers, the rest of the wordings on the dial and the minute track. Even the backdrop of the date has a hint of off-white. Too bad it isn't a Lume date. Speaking of Lume, you will notice that the hands and markers does not have a steel frame on them. Whilst the hands may have an off-white frame on them, the markers are a cutout of the Lume material, which is well executed and pretty cool. So, why am I disappointed, you ask? Firstly, it's the GMT hand. The Rolex 1655 Explorer 2 or any of its current Explorer 2 uses a different shape design on their GMT hands. This is paramount, especially when reading the time in the dark. You can easily distinguish the hour hand and the GMT hand by looking at the different Lume shape. With the breguet Pro, you probably got to take a while to identify which is the hour, second, and GMT hand, as they all have the same design. Unlike the breguet GMT, which positioned the square all the way to the edge of the dial to make it easier to distinguish it as the GMT hand in the dark, the position of the breguet Pro are pretty close to each other. Not to mention the distance between the GMT hand and the second hand. Secondly, it's a rather poor execution of the GMT font on the bezel. The fonts are rather jagged and inconsistent. For example, the 6 at the 3 o'clock position has a rather wider top as compared to the 6 on the 16 at the 8 o'clock position, which has a wider bottom. The 0 on the 10 at the 5 o'clock position has a wider bottom as compared to the 0 on the 20 at the 10 o'clock position. The 8 at the 4 o'clock position has a wider bottom as compared to the 8 on the 18 at the 9 o'clock position, which has a wider top. This is rather bizarre. The fonts don't look nice at all. Thirdly, it's its infamous thickness that everyone has been talking about. The watch is measured at 39mm in diameter and has a lug-to-lug height of 47mm. With that kind of dimension, a 14.6mm Tudor will look a little too immense. To put that into perspective, the Grand Seiko SP-GJ251 is a watch that is considered by many to be ridiculously bulky and difficult to wear. The Grand Seiko is measured at 39.5mm in diameter, 46.5mm in length and 14.1mm thick. So, with that in mind, would you consider the Black Bay Pro easy to wear? I've got a fourth problem with this watch. Like most stainless steel watches, with an increase in height, there will be an increase in weight. With a smaller mass of only 39mm in diameter, I find the wearing experience to be a little imbalanced, more like it's top heavy. Anyway, these are just my personal opinion of this watch, and I thought that you might be interested to take note of what I've pointed out. Don't take my word for it, but go check it out yourself and do let me know what you think of this watch in the comments below. If you like this kind of video, please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification icon to support me, and I'll really appreciate it and promise to make more videos like this. Until the next one, thank you for watching.